Welcome to this page. I believe you're here because you want to see how you can make money from farming quicker than the conventional way. Welcome to this page. I believe you're here because you want to see how you can make money from farming quicker than the conventional way. Okay, now you've heard about cassava a little bit. Let us talk about cocoa and palms and timber and the opportunities in them. I'm going to start with palm. This is how I got to know about palm business. People go to buy palm oil to sell in regions that are cheaper. And when they do this, they expect to make a lot of profit, But that's not the strategy that works currently because almost everybody knows that system. And once everybody knows that system, in Nigerian parlance, we say it don't cast. It don't cast, it don't cast. It don't cast. So that pattern has casted. Everybody is doing it now and everybody knows how to do it. Everybody knows where palm oil is cheaper. So you're not going to make a lot of money from that. However, what I'm telling you right now, only me and you know it. It's a secret. And when I say only me and you, I mean 0.0001% of the population do not know this strategy. They do not apply it. And the ones who know it do not even know it the way I'm sharing it. So you're blessed to be listening to this right now. So let's go into palms. There are palms that are highly lucrative. However, when I do these classes, when I do these trainings, when I do these explanations, I use the lowest figure possible because I don't want to scare you off. I don't want to tell you things that you might keep wondering, is this real? Is this not real? And all of that. There are palms that if you rent them, you'll be shocked at how lucrative they are. And palms, cocoa, and timber is actually easier to get than cassava. However, cassava has, a more stable, cassava and timber has the shortest term returns. So we'll look at that much later. But you see, palms is another lucrative thing. Palms was actually the first one is actually the one that is more known for this model. And there are estates that, oh boy, if I begin to talk to you about them, they are just amazing estates that yield marvelously well and they are lucrative and affordable, not expensive. If I use the word cheap, it may lower the value. It's so affordable. That's the word I can use. In the sense that when you calculate the profit you're going to make at the end, you realize that it's way better to rent a palm estate and manage it and make money from it than going to plant and all that. Do you know how long you're going to wait? Even the best species of palms, at least 3 years before you start harvesting. And here am I, wearing a navy blue suit with my fine face, telling you that right now, you can own a palm today, and tomorrow, you start processing it. Okay? And that's what I'm about to talk to you about right now. Lucrative palm estates that can make you millions in the shortest time possible. Okay? Before now, we often do palms based on availability. What do I mean availability? Palms is not like cassava. For cassava, we can do measurements, say, okay, you have 1 plot, we're buying 1 plot, we're buying 2 plots, we're buying 3 plots. With palms, it's a bit different. With palms, people do not plant like that. When Mr. John plants a palm estate, he can plant 10 hectares of land. And when you come to Mr. John is not going to sell you in plots. He's going to sell you he will rent out the entire hectare, the way you rent houses. And the strategy of farm to wealth is not new to farming. It's been done in other industries like real estate. People rent houses. The man who lives in the house is not the one who builds the house. He just rents. And that's what we're doing here. It's basically the same thing. The difference between you and I is that I know where such farms are and how to get them. You didn't know it existed, so until you came in contact with us, right? And that's the difference. For houses, you know it's everywhere, but for this strategy, you don't know where it is. We are the only people who can lead you and help you and set a system around it and make sure you make profit. So you have to work with us. Okay, so then the farmer tells you, see, I have 10 hectares and you have to rent all. And that's the way it works. Cocoa is the same thing, no measurements. But because we know that we are dealing with an intelligent community, in Farm to Wealth. We know because we try to sell it, to rent it out like that based on those discretion. So if you've watched my previous video, I'll come up and I'll say we have a palm estate for 2 million naira, 3 million naira, some are for 5 million and all of that. And we realize that this is good, but we cannot sustain this strategy of selling based on what the farmers make available. If you've read our ebooks in the past, we put all of these things there. And now we decided, see, we are going to take these farms from them and break them into portions based on estimates, based on experience, break them into portions, plots, the way we do with cassava. So now we take a farm of 10 hectares, we break it into plots so that everybody, because the goal is for everybody to be able to farm. We break it into plots, and the plot now goes for 250,000 naira. You see that? So now somebody with 250,000 naira can own a palm estate. So instead of him going to look for where to buy palm oil so that he can sell where it is more expensive, he can just own an estate with us today and start processing it tomorrow. The strategy is the same. It's the same flow. Farmer who planted the palm, labor. Now the laborers, the more you go higher, with cassava laborers, they don't need a lot of skill set. The higher you go, if you get to palms, you need some level of skill set. There's somebody who cuts, some of them climb to cut, some of them cut from ground, and they need some set of skills for that. If you get to cocoa, the skills are even more required. You get to timber, the skills are even more required. But we have all of that in our labor community at Farm to Wealth. So again, farmer, laborer, and market to sell the oil. Market to sell the oil. Sorry, this K has refused to K. Okay, market to sell the oil is still the same thing. So now you have rented a palm estate that we have told you is lucrative, because again, one of the things people don't understand is that even if you know where to get this, you will probably rent the wrong one. There's an eyes we use. It's an eyes of experience, eyes of time. We've done this over and over again, that we can look at the palms without even cutting anything. We can just stand and look at it like this and say, that palm will be lucrative. We do this often. So again, we use our eyes to choose a good palm estate, and now we portion in plots. We didn't used to do plots before now. And we say, okay, one plot now is 250,000 naira for a plot, and you pay your startup labor fee. Now, the beautiful thing about palms, pay attention, is that you only have to pay labor fee once, because it runs for an entire year. Cassava does not run for an entire year. For cassava, when you own cassava, you own it until we finish harvesting everything. Once we are done harvesting your cassava farm, that's it. We are done with it. You return the land to the person, let him plant another thing. But with palm, because it produces all year round, you have to own it for 1 year. You own the palm estate for 1 year. You rent it for 1 year, just like you rent your house for 1 year. So you rent one plot for 1 year. Maybe the first month, the one plot gives you 50 bunches. The next month, it gives you, it produces consistently like that. And our labor is always there to harvest it, process it for you, and get the oil out and sell for you. And, you start getting payout. Now, though it's for an entire year, you don't need to wait for 1 year before getting your payout. It's the same payment arrangement with cassava. All right, but cassava is a one-time thing, that if you buy farm now, if you have 100 plots, we'll process the whole 100 plots in 60 days, give you your money, and if you want the capital you put in, we also give it to you, or you can buy another farmland with it. But with palm, the moment you buy for 150, you will pay 100,000 naira for labor, one payment. And once this money is used for the beginning, this one buys the plot, this one starts the labor. That's all you need. Because from here on, the farm will fund itself. You understand what I mean? From here on, the palm estate will fund itself. As we make money from palm oil, we use some of it for labor, which will be included in the report. And amazingly, you should know that we write reports every month. For every farm we have ever run, we write reports for it. You will know what came into your farm, what came out of it, and how the money was spent and the expenditures that were made to arrive at the profits that we're giving you. We do that every time. Those people who are already farming with us can testify to that. So now 100,000 naira is for labor. You pay that once and the processing begins. Every other time we need money for labor, we take from the proceeds. You don't have to pay. So you pay a one-time fee. This is what you pay once to own a plot. And we process this. You're not buying palm oil. Now, what we realized is that if you store the palm oil, you make more money. So in a nutshell, palm oil gives you a profit of 70% in a year. 70 to 100% in a year. A palm estate in a year. And that's because that means that 10 million used in purchasing a palm estate gives you between 7 million to extra 10 million. Right? And this runs for an entire year. So what this means is that the first 60 days, you will get something out of the processing. Whatever has been processed in the first 60 days, you get payout. All right? Then you go again. The next one will be 30 to 45 days. You get another payout. So the more we process, every interval, just like cassava, you are getting paid from it. And this is lucrative. Now, this also has export value. But we've not talked about export. Because again, it's going to be another package that we'll be introducing later where we can export your palm produce to the abroad. And then the profit jumps from this. Okay, so this is an amazing idea, and palm estate is another thing. It's a very lucrative one that you can do. I will urge you to buy palm estate. Buy as much as you can. Okay, we have enough of it currently. So it sells for 250,000 naira, and this is the profit margin. I don't have the time to go through all the calculation of palms because it's going to be so long. There's so much involved. But let me mention some of the things involved in palms that made us to arrive at this. The thing is this, with palms, right? This palm, I can tell you that this 250,000 naira, this 350,000 naira palm will make you almost 2 to 2.5 million naira, generally. Right? But when you start accounting for expenditures, you buy gallons, you do transportation, you store it, you move it, you pay for processing, you pay laborers consistently, you clear the farm, you prune it, you clear the roots and all of that, it still amounts to this. So these are some of the things. I don't have the time to go into these details. However, you should know that a palm estate gives you profit margin of 70 to 100% in a year. If you want to own a palm estate, all you need to do is to click the link below, find any palm product, any palm estate product that we have on the website, and purchase from there. Or better still, call any of the numbers on your screen right now and get started. Don't delay. Because the more you delay, the more the prices rise. We're going to give you a discount if you're taking action today. This discount is not for people who delay. It's for people who take immediate action. So if you want to own a palm estate, go ahead and do that right now. Thank you. Now we're going to go to cocoa.